Yes, my people, them. What's crack-a-lacking? We're back with another one, boy. Fathertalkzz Podcast. You know the usuals, man. Big up to everyone here. Salutes and love hearts to all of you. It's another end of the month. Another goal not reached. I'm still only at 113 subscribers, so I'm still 37 away from the 150 goal, but it is what it is, man. Hopefully by the end of March I'll reach that. You never know. We just got to carry on pushing, carry on putting out the content and see what happens, man. You know, as negative that has been for me, there's been a few positives that have happened today. Spoke yesterday about attending an open evening and I went there today and it was calm, man. It was good, you know. Spoke about a few things, spoke to a few tutors and that. Got to go back there in June and enroll properly and that, and hopefully be ready to start in September, you know what I mean? So yeah, my new beginnings ahead and that. I can finally start, you know, getting a proper future in place for me and my family, man. I've been lacking for a good minute now, but I'm due to step up and fully be the man I need to be, you know what I mean? It's all in due time, man. It's all in due time, but yeah, man. Another positive thing that happened for me today, I had my first Fathertalkzz Inner Circle session, man, yeah. So this morning, one of my old time friends, I'm being real when I say that, like, it's probably one of my first ever friends from when I was yay high, you know what I mean? Like, the first brother I've ran about the streets with, you know what I mean? He's messaged me and he said, yo, man, I hope you're all good and that. I know I ain't spoke to you in ages, but I ain't really in a good place right now. So, you know, if you're not too busy, can you check in on man and that? Like, he sent me his number. He was like, you might not want to because, you know, where the fuck have I been for all these years and who am I? And I thought, nah, G, like, that's not what I'm on. Do you know what I mean? You're my dog either way. Even if I ain't seen you in 20 years and I see you down the road tomorrow, I'ma still chat to you like I saw you yesterday. You know what I mean? It's that real energy, man. So yeah, like, I phoned him and that, and you know, we had a good chat for about an hour or two, and he just, you know, he opened up to man, and it's crazy because the advice he was looking for, like, man ain't really experienced it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I spoke about it. What he was actually talking about, I spoke about in an episode a couple of days ago, you know, separation from your kids, you know, when it's not your fault, this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? And he's in a situation where, you know, he's separated from his kids due to, you know, some faults being his, some faults being, you know, his, I don't want to say baby mums because that's a disrespectful term, the mother of his children, you know what I mean? Some of the faults were hers as well. Toxic relationship, didn't really work out. So after 11 years of marriage, sad to say, but you know, they got divorced, which, you know, is sad, but sometimes it works out for the best. But you know, he was in a bit of a situation today because, you know, he said, I'm not really gonna disclose too tough what happened, but he said something's going on and, you know, it's not sitting right with him because agreements were made and certain things in the agreement were kind of broken. Do you know what I mean? So I said, gee, at the end of the day, as frustrating as that is, like, you know, if you go in there all guns blazing, you're still going to look like the bad one. Do you know what I mean? And I know that's a mad thing, but it's real like that. Like, you know, that happens in a lot of situations, not even to do with couples, but like even just in a normal situation. Like, say, like, for example, what can I give for an example? Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, on a job, for example, let's say, you know, you've seen someone mess something up and, you know, instead of going to tell someone ahead of you, you've tried to fix it and the thing's fully broke. You're getting the blame for it. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same kind of thing, like, if obviously she's messed it up by doing certain things that weren't in the agreement, but she's the sole carer of them kids now. So if he comes to the yard, pulls up to the yard, you know what I mean, this, that and the other, fed, he's getting nicked, the kids are scared, he's going to be known as the bad one. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I dropped it to him. I said, G, like, it's a harsh reality, bruv, but the reality is, G, like, you know, you're in a situation where, you know, you've split up, you know, you're still kind of set on, you know, being with the woman, but she's moved on. And I said to him, I said, gee, this is going to sound bad, but like, you know, two hearts don't break even at the end of the road. Do you know what I mean? And it's that real, man. But like, you know, we had a deep conversation, man, and he said, yeah, do you know what, like, I knew all this anyway. Like, he knew everything I was telling him. He knew he weren't going to pull up to the yard and that. Like, he just needed someone to tell him to, you know, like, make him really see that he is thinking the right thing. And like, and I'm so, you know, I feel so honoured that he like felt he could message, man, because number one, for me, it shows that, you know, me doing this podcast ain't a waste of time. You know, I am helping myself as well as helping other people. You know, people are relating to it. And most of all, man, some people are actually rating it. Do you know what I mean? So salutes and love hearts for him to really get in that, man. He knows who he is anyway. I'm not going to say his name in that. But yeah, man, like, I felt privileged. And like, you know, from by the end of the phone call, I think he felt happy that, you know, as soon as he messaged me, I answered, and I was there to just chat to him. And, you know, I didn't give him the best advice because, like I said, like the situation he's in, I'm lucky enough to not have been in that situation, because when it comes to my relationship, you know, when my relationship's messed up, I've always been the perpetrator. Do you know what I mean? I've always been the reason why. So I ain't ever been in a situation where my girl's been doing this, that, and the other, or, you know, we've both been doing it. It's only been me. Do you know what I mean? So it was hard to give him the advice, but I just told him what I would imagine, you know, someone would tell me, and that's the realness. Don't try to sugarcoat it, just be real with me. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, sugarcoating stuff for people it's only going to make things worse in the end, because you're selling them dreams. Do you know what I mean? If you give them that harsh reality, sometimes that's the best reality check they can get. And that's facts. Do you know what I mean? That's facts, man. So yeah, man. Today's been obviously, you know, in his situation, it's not, you know, even though he got at me and maybe feels a bit better, he's still, you know, he's still a bit, you know, he's still a bit down and that. But I'm hoping from the advice I gave him, he picks himself up and he listens to what I says, and he just, you know, just carries on and makes sure that the only people that he thinks about and that he keeps in his heart and that he knows that he needs to ride for and, you know, only really bother with is his 3 little girls. And that's the realness, man. That woman, the mother of his kids, don't really matter like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? She's moved on. He needs to move on, and he will find happiness, man. I said that to him, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, I could be wrong. And obviously it's easier said than done. I get that, innit? But I'm just trying to be as real as it can be, and sometimes realness is the worst thing to hear, but it's the best thing to hear, innit, man? So yeah, man. For anyone else who feels they wanna, you know, they need some sort of advice, or they just want someone to chat to, don't be afraid to get at me, man. I'm gonna put my email address in the description like I have before. You can email me and we can chat. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm here for, man. That's what this podcast is here for. It's just to help people who need help, who might be feeling how I felt, who I know I can help. And it's that real, man. But to everyone who's tuned in and everyone who's really locked in, big up to you, man. And if you ain't subscribed, just please subscribe, innit? Because I'm asking for 150 subscribers. But to be monetized on YouTube, you need 500. Obviously, I know not having motion or nothing like that, asking for 500 is a bit mad, but, you know, God willing, I keep forwarding every day. I keep putting out content every day. I keep building. I keep interacting with people who are interacting with me. I'll get there, man. Oh yeah, and I didn't even say at the start of the message either, like I always say on a Friday and Saturday. If you're outside tonight, be safe, be mindful, look after the people around you, look after yourself. Remember, you got people to get home to in the morning. But other than all that, have a good evening and stay blessed. Salutes and love hearts to everyone out there, man. Big up.